What's going on, guys? In this video, not sure what else we'll get into, but I'm going to be getting these engines ready so that we can transport them. So we got the Viper engine, we got the Hellcat engine, we got a 5.7 HEMI in the box already. Let's get started. And welcome back to the channel. So I started getting this stuff ready so that I could get straight to work, and now I grabbed the camera. So I took off the engine covers. There's the Viper engine covers. If you guys don't know, this is a 2016 Viper engine with the transmission, and I have to transport it. So I brought it home like this, but it is huge and heavy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, we're gonna put the engine on the pallet, and then I'm going to separate the transmission from it just so it's a little bit easier to move around. And I'm going to put the transmission on one of these little carts like that. So the transmission is a little bit lighter and easier to move around. So I can do something like that, just a little Harbor Freight dolly. I think I actually have one more, I saw it right here. So I have one more of these little Harbor Freight dollies that will throw the other transmission on. And then once I get it to wherever I need to, I can take it off and put it on the ground. So I'll end up strapping it in the trailer, probably to the floor. Maybe I'll put something underneath it, but just so I can move them around and get them out of the garage, into my trailer, and into our storage facility. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to use a lift. This is a little bit easier. Other reason being is if by using the lift I won't have anything or obstructions. I started to get my cherry picker, but the problem with the cherry picker is once you lift it up in the ground, you got the big legs coming out from the front, the support legs, and it really makes it hard to try to slide a pallet or anything underneath it. Using the lift like this, we can go up, I can slide out what I've got, slide under this pallet. This pallet was one that I got the brand new EcoDiesel engine on. And for those of you guys that watched the last video, that engine was purchased directly from Mopar with a Mopar warranty and a Mopar sticker on the front of it with our serial number and warranty and all that stuff. So technically the engine should be warranted. Not trying to warranty the truck, just the engine, but just wanted a side note on that. But that's the pallet from it when we received that brand new crate engine. So I'm gonna lift this up, and if all goes well, put it on that, and then I'll separate the engine after the fact, but I need to get it off of the little Harbor Freight moving pallet that we have on right now, and this thing is struggling, so it's good to be able to get it off of there because I don't trust that thing too much, even though it's been sitting there for the last month or so. So up we go. So it's gonna be tail heavy, but I'm hoping I can just at least lift it up enough so that I can lift the back and slide that pallet in. The locks are engaging. Okay, so this should be high enough at least to where I can get this out, and I can. And now I'm gonna slide the pallet under the front half of it so I can get the transmission off. Okay, so I'm gonna set this down here, and then the transmission should be free. So I'm gonna reposition it on this pallet once we get the transmission off it, but for now I'm gonna leave it so that the back half is hanging off the end so that I can at least get my transmission off. So let's let this back down. All right, so engine's on the pallet, but like I said, I'm gonna center this a little bit better in a second once we get the transmission off. So now I have clean access to all these bolts. There's a couple wires that are ripped off, but we can always repair those later. But I don't think there's too much. There's just this one wire or two wires on this side, and then pretty much just a bunch of series of bolts, and then we can take the transmission off. Okay, we got our few plugs disconnected. There we go. Look at this, super nice looking Tremec. Even has SRT engraved on the side. Really trick unit. So we got some bolts. Looks like some 15 head bolts, I believe. Yeah, so some 15s, and then I think some 13s across the bottom. I've got this little dolly here, and should be able to get this thing off. Well, like I mentioned, that really isn't too hard to take off. So just like that, the transmission is removed from the engine. Pretty crazy looking stock clutch, and I got a phone call, so let me take that real quick. So I'm just gonna put these bolts back in so that we don't lose their positions, because I don't know when we're gonna get to this next. But I'll put all the bolts in, get everything situated. It's kind of cool, I was able to leave the starter motor on here, so technically we could still turn this thing over and check compression, but honestly it's not even worth it to check it because the engine's so new that I highly doubt that's gonna be any issue on this thing, and we got a million other things to contend with. So let me get these bolts back in. All right, I got all my bolts and hardware back in place so that we don't lose the position. I'm gonna lift this back up and I'm gonna center it on this pallet. We got a cardboard box under it just to kind of give it a little bit of buffer, but should be good to go. Okay, that actually fits really, really good on this pallet, you guys. If you guys don't know, like the box, I have the box, if you can see right there, it's like hard to see, but that's the lid that goes over top of this. I bet I probably could fit the lid over top of this if I really wanted to. If I wanted to have it in an enclosed box, I'm pretty sure that lid will fit over top of this engine, so pretty good. I'm not sure, I might just strap it to here, or I could, you know, make some sort of 2x4s that go up into here into the engine mount. These engine mounts need to be replaced regardless, but might be able to get something up and in there. Maybe we'll do like a little 2x4 thing. We'll deal with that in the morning. At least it's situated for now. This is off. I'm probably gonna put that on the little dolly. Kind of looks a little bit sketchy here, but all the weight's in the middle. But that's the transmission off. And I'm going to resume in the morning because I'm gonna go ahead and hit the gym. Kind of my daily routine these days. I'm getting back into the gym, so I'm gonna do that, and then we'll catch you guys in the morning and we'll keep working on stuff, and then we'll also take this one off and put it in that big Tupperware thing. All right, next day, and we got a lot of work to still do, but I ended up strapping this real quick. So I went around the exhaust manifolds and it went right around the pallet, and she is on here right now. I just have the floor jack on it, and I just put a moving dolly underneath it so I can pretty much one-handedly move this thing around. I'll have some, help once I end up actually loading this stuff, but I'm gonna shove this off to the corner right there for now, put that there. What I do want to do, I've been meaning to do this forever, but I guess now is a better time than ever before I throw it into the pallet, is I want to clean this thing off a little bit. So I'm gonna just tape up whatever stuff is open. I'm not gonna like soak the absolute crap out of it, but kind of want to just clean it up a little bit. This thing has kind of been dirty sitting around. So I'm gonna do my best to kind of just clean it up quickly before we put it in that tub. So let's get working on that. Well, she's dragged out of the corner, boys. And I just finished just kind of putting some, I guess, whatever, like plastic bags of zip ties around. That's kind of how I usually seal stuff like this. So just the main ones, everything else is pretty good. Like this is open, but I'm not gonna be spraying water down in it. I'm probably just gonna lightly clean some of this area, and then our oil cooler lines, and we'll clean this thing up. So what we do have to do is fire this thing up and move it out of the way, because I can't take it over top of the bump for the lift, and I can't go that way because Viper engine's over there. So we're gonna give this thing a quick cold start, back this down, and then we will clean this thing over here. So here you go. If you guys haven't heard a cold start on this thing, you're about to. This image looks hilarious, you guys. The Viper is actually a really wide sports car, and it has quite a big presence on the road, but next to the Ram, it looks like a toy car. But anyways, let's go ahead. I'm gonna push this thing through here. It gets kind of fun pushing these casters across these joints, but managed to get it that far. I'm gonna get it over there and we'll clean her off. Okay, so here we go, guys. So similar setup to what we did with this. I got 2 straps wrapped around each side. Just gonna lift it up, and I don't know what I'm gonna do when I don't have this lift. I mean, we'll have a new lift. This lift is sold, but once we get to the new spot, I'll end up getting another lift. But it's definitely making this pretty easy. I mean, I can still use a cherry picker later, but this just makes it nice because, like I said, I don't have the legs from the cherry picker underneath to obstruct me. So what I'm gonna do is lift it up. I'm gonna take this off. So I've got it supported right now a little bit. I'm gonna obviously take the weight off it, and then I can take this off. I can set this down in there. I'm gonna have to take this off as well, so I'll unbolt this as well. Let me set this down into there. Let's see what we got. There we go. She is floating. I had to put a strap off the front because I wanted to rotate a bit, but now we can go down, and I might have to put some wood, like I was mentioning, under that one part where the back of the pan is, but let's see what we got. So the sump's gonna fit nicely in that part. It's not too bad. So yeah, I'll probably just put some wood over here to kind of level it out, but she's gonna fit in this pallet pretty nicely. Once I take this off, we'll be golden, boys. So it should be pretty decent. I don't think the lid's gonna fit, but at least we have something that can hold it half decent. So the bag is secured. We got this thing in here. Managed to get it pretty level. Like I said, I had to put some wood in the back. I mean, it's a little bit off, but it's fine. Only thing I gotta do now is there's some of these little eyelets here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass a strap through here. Probably gonna put a strap here and a strap on the other side, and that way it's secured from rocking back and forth, and then we should be good. Okay, we got her strapped down. So just strapped it from the exhaust manifolds. Good old shake test. She ain't going nowhere. So these totes are pretty cool. It makes it a little easier on me. I mean, I'm pretty happy with the way that one's strapped down too, but this just makes it easier, I think, and probably keep this tote around for a little while. So anyways, that's that. She ain't going nowhere, and then we'll obviously strap down that once we get it into the trailer to move it. Let's see if the lid fits on. I highly doubt it. I think the lid's probably gonna fall a little short, but let's check. Plus, kind of comes in a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't know if the lid's gonna fit, and the motor's just ever so slightly off center, but let's throw it on and see. Yeah, so yeah, doesn't quite fit. So that's the situation with the lid. Doesn't go all the way down. I guess I could keep the dust off it, but it doesn't entirely fit, but it is what it is. So that part is done, you guys. So one more thing off the list of things to do before we get out of here. All right, well, we were successful with that. I ended up shoving this thing in the corner. So it's all cleaned up. It's ready to be moved around, so it's all solid. So glad we accomplished that. Again, the Viper engine's over here. And then I want to kind of talk to you guys about a few things. So if you are local to the SoCal area, or potentially shipping, I have a few things I figured I would let you guys know, since a lot of you guys that are watching the channel actually own some of these vehicles. So I have a few things that I'm going to be getting rid of, and probably some of you guys are going to be interested in it. Only send me a direct message on Instagram or Facebook, or you can email me, but get a hold of me one of those ways. But again, this stuff isn't, a lot of the parts I have aren't cheap stuff, so it's not, don't expect it to be free or anything like that. I have these Viper wheels. If you guys remember, these are the wheels that were on my Dakota. So these are actually OEM Viper wheels. They're not SRT10 truck replicas or whatever crazy things some of you guys say sometimes. These are actually from a Viper car. They're of the SRT10 era, so they look like Ram SRT10 rims, but they're actually Viper wheels. They're 6-bolt. I've got all 4. They're black powder coated. They're in good shape. There's tires on the rear. We took the front tires to put them on our other rims, but I have all 4 of those. They're not cheap, you guys. Good luck trying to find them powder coated already in black. Most of them are going to be chrome and polished, but if you're interested, don't expect them to be like 1,500 bucks. They're going to be more, but if you're really interested in them, get a hold of me. And that's one thing I have. As far as other stuff, I have some odds and ends, but I'll show you guys a few things that I do have. Again, this stuff's more gonna be if you're local. I've got the original hood, and I also have a snug top tonneau cover. If you are interested in any of these are gonna be like dirt cheap, but If you're interested in any of those, I have those. I also have the Eco Diesel engine in that box, but it's got a lot of good parts on it. That's the one that we've removed from the truck, but it's still got a good turbo, good EGR, you know, good injectors, all sorts of good parts on that. So I have that stuff. And let me show you guys maybe a couple other things that I do have available. So again, if you're local, I've got a 4th gen Ram grill. It's got, a lot of guys are after these grill inserts, but I could probably ship the grill inserts if you're interested in that, or if you're local, I have the whole grill. I've got the upper bumper piece for the 2-piece bumpers. I've got, I don't know if I want to get rid of these just yet. I've got Bilstein struts or shocks for the truck. I've got OEM fog lights in that box. What else? I've got a 10-inch sub with a box and an amp over there. I've got the Dodge centerpiece there. I've got a bunch of different stuff there. And one other part I do have the center console, complete center console, as well as the dash from the Charger for the Dakota. So if you guys are thinking about doing a conversion like that, I've also got those pieces as well that I really need to get rid of. So that's mostly it, you guys. I might get rid of this air compressor with the hose reel, but again, probably gonna have to be local for any of that stuff. But that's probably it for the list for now. I'm sure I'll be clearing out a bunch more stuff as time goes on. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Ask any questions down below. It's gonna be a pretty hectic few weeks, but I'm excited for what's to come. It's not too long till we gotta be out of here, but I think it's gonna be a good move. We'll end up moving into a place with more space so we can have more projects and all that good stuff. So if you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Draggy stuff coming very soon. I just gotta get a little bit more organized here first, and then that will be on the way. So see you guys on the next one.